Welcome back to Mosh Pit Podcast. I got Adam here from Sinickhouse and Andy, my bad.
Close.
We're gonna get this started and let's do this.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
When did your band start out? When did you start working on everything?
God, it was about early 2022. I had a bass guitar for the longest time. It was actually my 17th birthday present from my grandfather. I practiced here and there with it. I didn't really feel like I was progressing all that much when I was a kid. My mental development was still kind of like trying to get there, but I didn't touch it for years. I mean years. It wasn't until I was 23, which was last year, like I said. I just needed more in life. I'd always loved punk rock music. I grew up off that shit. So I said, hey, this is a good way to feel fulfilled, as sad as that sounds. Picked up my bass guitar, started writing my own little songs. Hit up a cousin of mine who's my guitar player / producer. He helped me out with some of the music. We got our EP out. We eventually found a drummer, and now we're here today trying to get our music out there more and more. Definitely.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that, like what music that you listen to inspired you to get into this?
Oh yeah, that's an excellent question. You're just the man with all the good questions. I can see why you're doing this. Hell yeah. There's a plethora of bands, man. Growing up as a kid, my father was always playing punk rock music, but I would say NoFX, without a doubt, is like the band that got me into like punk rock. Obviously, if you listen to the Sinickhouse music, you'll see some grunge influences there. Bands like, Nirvana, obviously, Pearl Jam, Smashing Pumpkins, Alice in Chains, and definitely Sublime. Sublime, without a doubt. Bradley Nowell, one of my greatest influences, one of the most underrated talents in rock and roll history, in my opinion. I definitely wouldn't do this if it weren't for Sublime and all those other bands. Like I said, I can be listing that shit off on and on and on for you today, bro. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
That's awesome. What is your creative process with like writing the songs on your album and everything? Do you write everything out first and then work on doing instrumentals, or?
I do instrumentals first. Like I said, I have a bass guitar. I do the bass and lead vocals for Sinickhouse. What the process has been is I'll come up with a couple bass lines, work on transitioning. From that point, I'll develop a structure, write some lyrics. From that point on, I'll get in contact with my cousin Cole Steef. He'll come up with some cool ass guitar licks, because goddamn, that fucking kid is a talented fucking guitar player, swear to God. He'll come up with some stuff. I like to give him full creative freedom. I'll give him the outline and then just let him play with it, no doubt. From there, we get in the studio, we produce it, and that's pretty much it. Our EP, I don't know if you've listened to it or not. It's the drums in there are as shameful and as non-punk rock as this might sound. They're actually electronic drum loops. But we did find a drummer, a good friend of mine. His name's Anthony. We like to call him Deuce. Really privileged to have that guy on, and we're definitely going to have him on our recordings moving forward, no doubt about that.
That's how awesome.
Hell yeah.
Who was a band that you could think of, like a couple bands or anything that you would love to play with in the future?
Shit, I mean, like I said, NoFX was the band that got me into it, but they're about to disband probably by the end of this year. I got tickets to their last show in San Francisco. Bradley Noel is dead, unfortunately. But shit, Sublime with Rome would be cool because they do be playing all the original Sublime tracks with Bud Gaw and Eric Wilson there too. That would be cool. And Anti-Flag has also been another influence to me, but some shit came out recently with their lead singer. Some very, very bad stuff that I'm like hoping isn't true, but that would be another one. There's a bunch of others though, man. Like Jane's Addiction is another one I would like to. Perry Farrell is like one of the most intense and entertaining like frontmen in rock and roll that doesn't get talked about enough. Swingin' Utters out of San Francisco, they have another influence on me. I would love to open for the Swingin' Utters. And there's another band out of Sacramento. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. They're called ADD, which stands another damn disappointment. That's an extremely underrated band, and like I actually have to give those guys a lot of props for me wanting to get into fucking music myself because they've been influential to me. So hey, if Josh, Ross, if you guys ever see this, like hit me up. We're based out of Fairfield. We'll make the drive to Sacktown if you guys got it. Yeah, for sure. You gotta give love to those guys.
That's how it is in this music community. We always have to support each other.
Oh, no doubt.
Talking to bands and everything, it's like, even with anything that relates into music, it's always supporting one another and trying to push each other into what we want to do in our creative experiences and everything.
Yeah, and ever since me and my cousin Cole, we started like getting together and playing this music, I've been trying to like introduce him more and more to punk rock because like unlike me, he didn't really grow up off of that. But I remember telling him one day when I took him to a show, it was actually to see ADD play in Folsom. I remember telling him, like, you're not going to find another music genre that has created a community more accepting and more unified as punk rock. And I stand by that. I believe in that. Rock and roll as a whole, too. But, like, that's just what I specifically grew up off on. It's what I continue to listen to, so it's what I have the most experience with. But rock and roll is rock and roll. We got to keep it alive, man, because it creates a tremendous community of absolutely lovely people. And I've luckily have known that since I was before I could really comprehend a memory. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
That's why I love rock and roll in general, is because not only is the bands together as a community, but the fans are a community as well. Because you go to a show and you can not even know a person, but you'll be in the crowd with them, and then you'll just talk to them for 30 minutes, and about each other's life, and how this music inspired them and why they're there.
Yeah, I remember like I went to a show one time and I met this this nice couple, this girl and this guy, and I eventually like followed him on Instagram. I have not seen him again to this day, but I remember like the girl posted like a picture of the guy. He got in like a serious car crash. And like I genuinely like got depressed over it, I'm like, I met this guy once. We kicked it for like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours tops, and it's like, God, I'm like really like invested in this guy's recovery, and that's the beauty of it, man. That's definitely one of the determining factors that keeps me in this.
Yeah. What's some new artists that you've listened to that you've liked? If there's any like new music out that you've been listening to?
Well, without a doubt, I got to give some love to my good friends over at Cleverly Detached. There's this little punk rock band out of Sacramento. They have some really good tunes. They just kicked out an EP. I'm like very good friends with their lead singer. I met her boyfriend, and he was just like a tremendous guy. I actually met him at one of their shows, and I was like, God, like I want to see this guy again. You know what I mean? I want to see all of them again because they're very talented. They're lovely people. They've been nothing but kind to me. So yeah, I got to give Cleverly Detached some love. Hannah, all you guys, if you ever see this, just know that I'm looking out for you, and I want you guys to keep doing what you're doing. Another band I will say though is Spray Allen. I don't know if you've heard of them. like I previously stated, I'm a huge fucking Sublime fan, and Eric Wilson, Sublime's original bass player, that's his project, and they have this album out called Needful Things, and it's like, God, it's almost experimental almost, but like, oh, I love it so much, dude. I still be playing that. Back to your original question where you said if there's any bands I'd like to open up for, should probably say Spray Allen's another one on the list, definitely.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Yeah, because like, that's why I love all this shit with all the music and everything, and like, one thing I was like meeting all these people and everything. Yeah. How did you and your band meet?
Well, kind of helped because me and Cole Steve, we're the founding members. We've known each other. We're cousins. It kind of makes me sad. I wish that him and I were hanging out like sooner when we were kids, because he grew up in Elk Grove. He still lives out there. I grew up in Vacaville, of course. That's a fair enough distance. So like, I didn't get to see him all that much growing up as a kid. But I remember just seeing him at Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. Where's the question? I'm like totally getting like lost here, just rambling. I said, I can see why you're doing this, man. Like you're asking all the right fucking questions here.
No problem. It means a lot that you're saying that. Are you in the works of making a new album coming soon?
Oh, 100%. Most definitely. Hell yeah.
When do you think we'd be expecting that anytime soon or in the future?
Oh man, again another great one. I have a handful of like songs that need to be put into complete development still. It's really a matter of just getting everybody together, figuring out the whole recording process that we want to do. But there are some songs that we definitely have down. We have the whole structure. We have like guitar parts, drum parts, bass line, lyrics, everything. We just need to like get it complete. And we've been scheduling some shows too. So my band, we've really been focusing on rehearsing and getting ready for our upcoming shows. But that definitely is a priority we're going to be taking into consideration, is getting that full-length LP ready, because I can say with absolute confidence it's going to be better than our EP, especially with our drummer on board, Deuce Milani. Fucking lovely guy, tremendous dude. Talented musician all around. There's a joke I like to say in the band because, like I said, I play bass for the band, and I've seen both Cole Steve and Deuce Milani play bass, and I say, you know what? I'm the third best bass player in Sinickhouse. That's something I can be proud of. Out of every member in Sinickhouse, I'm the third best bass player. Yeah, but like I said, love those guys. Chemistry is just on point. So once we get this full-length LP out, it's going to be absolutely fucking killer.
Yeah, and if you need help with recording, I got my friend Jimmy. He does a recording studio out in Vallejo.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Jimmy. And I actually have a business card. I'll talk to you after about it and everything.
Hell yeah, dude. Whatever works. I got to show love to all the locals and whatnot. I mean, I'm not from Vallejo, obviously. I was born there, but I'm not from there. But it's close enough to where I consider it local, no doubt about that.
Okay, what was like the best mosh? Have you ever been in a mosh pit?
Oh, 100%. Okay, definitely.
Trust me, there's been bands I've talked to and everything that band members have never been into mosh
really?
Pits. They're scared of going in mosh pits, but they play hardcore stuff. So, what is the best mosh pit you've ever been in, like experience-wise?
There's a lot. I might be getting a little sentimental here, but like that kind of has to take into effect because, mosh pits are always fun, Yeah. But I would say, got to give it to my first mosh pit. I was 12 years old. Again, I went to go see NoFX, one of my absolute influences. My dad was there, my mom was there actually, and we took my childhood friend Jared. He had never really listened to punk rock music until he started hanging out with me, and one day my dad decided to bring him to a punk rock show with the okay of his parents, and my fucking father, because he saw us, just these, two little skinny, frail 12-year-olds, like probably about to enter middle school, just kind of standing there, head banging. And this man grabs us both, just kind of puts us in headlocks, and just drags us in the pit, does like a full 360 around, and I remember it was just like the absolute killer time. You're probably thinking like, well, maybe not you, you've been around the music, but some people would probably hear me say that and be like, well, what an abusive fucking asshole, but no, dude, I thank my father for that experience, no doubt, because now as a 24-year-old man, literally twice that age, not afraid to go into mosh pits, and there's just... It's a home away from home, being in the pit with a bunch of sweaty punk rockers, again, just got to give all love to my dad for that experience. It's I wouldn't be doing this again if it weren't for my father.
Trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my mom, I don't know where I'd be with all this music stuff, and because music, going to shows, my favorite show is Aftershock Festival.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Which I bet you've heard coming out in Sacramento.
Yeah. It's probably one of the best things Sacramento has to offer to the world.
This year is going to be my 10th year going.
Oh, wow.
And I think that every time I go in there, I take a deep breath and I go, I'm home.
Yeah, exactly. The little home away from home,
Yeah. It's like you walk in and everybody there's family no matter what. You take care of each other, you support each other, especially because Aftershock when I forgot how old I was a while ago, that was my first mosh pit.
Oh, wow, really?
And I went and it was, I can't remember which one, it was Skillet.
Oh, yeah.
Skillet was playing.
Hell yeah.
And I remember going into the pit, and I was in middle school, I think. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting in there, and at first I was worried, but these couple dudes grabbed both my arms, and they go, come on, buddy, let's go. And we just did a circle pit.
Complete strangers?
Yeah, just complete stranger.
Yeah.
And they just took care of me and made sure I was taken care of. Mm. And that's what I love about it, and that's what I love about Mosh Pits.
Exactly.
And that's what inspired me to do the name Mosh Pit Podcast and everything is Mosh Pits have been a big part of my life.
Oh, yeah.
And, because in the when you're at a show, you have people that sit, that chill and listen to music. And I respect all the people that go to a show, no matter who it is. But you also have the categories, people that sit and listen to music, some people that stand and just want to listen, but then you have the moshers.
Yeah.
The moshers aren't there just to listen to the music. They're there to feel it and express how that makes them feel. They want to throw down and they want to enjoy it with everybody else. They want to make it an experience. They want to make it into a story.
Oh,
because I feel like every time you leave a mosh pit, you see your person you came with, or you go home and you tell somebody, you're like, you have no idea I was in this mosh pit. There's always a story that comes out of a mosh pit.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
I love getting to go to work the following Monday and just telling people oh yeah, had a killer time in the fucking pit. There's this guy, his name was Dave. I don't know him, but goddamn, that guy was cool. I'd ride or die for that guy, And it's I think with rock music, whether it's punk rock or metal specifically, because those are probably the two subgenres of rock where the pits get really, really intense. It's you never would imagine being so safe around people you don't know. Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. But yeah, dude, I'm with you 100% there. No doubt about that.
And it's another version of it is that band wilding up the crowd and crowd surfers. Yeah. I think the craziest crowd surfing I've seen was when I was at Aftershock one year and A Day to Remember came on.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
they do this thing called crowd surf on a crowd surf. And what a person does is a person lays down, they're crowd surfing, and another person surfs them.
Nice! Hell yeah.
It is the craziest, coolest thing I've ever seen because everybody's holding the hands of the guy standing up and he's going like this while other guy's just diving through.
Nice.
And it's the greatest thing ever. And also it sucks for the people up front though because all you hear is heads up and everybody in the front's these motherfuckers.
God damn it, this drunk fucking bastard, this motherfucker. I don't know why, but like you saying that, it kind of reminded me. Like I'm sure you've seen the video of like the Slipknot kid with the fucking mask, like crowd surfing on his fucking dad. That's the coolest thing. I unfortunately have never had the privilege of getting to see Slipknot live. Definitely need to get on that. Yeah.
It is. I remember the first time I saw Slipknot live, and I was up front, and like because they had two sides of the crowd, and they had a little gap in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was right in the up front left, and I remember they came on. And that's when the big push hit. And if you go to rock shows, you know what the push is. And that's when the show, that curtain falls, and everybody just rushes the stage. And I remember holding on, and it was a while ago. I was holding on for dear life. I had to push people trying to breathe. And then I was like, get me to the pit, and people were like, I can't even move.
Right, it's like, well, what do you want me to do? Look at this. Look what I'm working with.
And like, what's crazy is like, after seeing Slipknot, one band I would say is crazier crowd than Slipknot, sorry to say, is System of a Down.
Oh, that doesn't shock me at all. Not in the slightest.
System of a Down, when they played Chop Sway, oh my gosh, I tell you, everybody was just like there was nobody's foot staying on the ground for longer than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And people were pushing each other so hard that the whole crowd was pretty much in a mosh pit. And it looked like a wave. It was people falling this way and people pushing it back, and then people falling this way, pushing people back. It was crazy.
That song has to be credited with like one of like the most like iconic breakdowns in like metal. Just the wake up, grab us and put a little makeup. It's like I again, System of a Down is another band I haven't had the privilege of seeing, but bass, I've met a shit ton of their fans. They're all really, really, really loyal. They love that band like more than life in itself. I can only imagine the intensity of the pit when like the System of a Down song was playing.
Because I've seen them a total of 3 times, and the last time I saw them was the hardest time to be up there because I went to Sick New World in Las Vegas, and that's when they had all the new metal bands, and System of a Down headlined, and Korn played, Deftones, Kitty.
It
was all new metal bands.
Hell yeah!
And I remember it was 113 degrees that day, and it was dry heat, and the sun didn't even go down till like 8:30.
Oh, shit.
And if you see anybody with a Sick New World shirt on, you say, how was Sick New World? And they go, oh, you found me passed out, or you found me heat. Oh, it was horrible. You had people fighting for shade. They were taking turns in the shade.
Oh, man.
And I think that was the craziest time. That show, it was a great show, but it was so hot. And they tried as best as they could to keep everybody cool, but I just think it was crazy.
My pasty ass is like getting crisp just even thinking about that. 113, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no, man. Third degree, no doubt about that. I need that fucking SPF 100, probably 3 layers. My dad growing up, because my dad's Mexican, and he's darker than I am, obviously. He'd give me like the SPF 50, like that'll do the trick, son. It's like, no, Dad, it didn't. It wasn't until I met my fiance where like she introduced me to SPF 100, and I'm like, this is the fucking shit I needed right here. So if I ever get melanoma, I'm gonna know why.
Well, this was awesome, and I'm glad you came on.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And if you would love you promote all the stuff you have, any upcoming shows, albums, check out their self-titled album. All of their stuff will be down below. Their Instagram, YouTube, everything. Go check them out. Their shit is fucking raw. And then, don't you have a show coming up next month? I
got a few shows coming up. We got 2 in Sacramento. One is going to be August 6th, which is not tomorrow, but the upcoming Sunday. It's going to be at Old Ironsides. And then we have one August 19th, which is going to be at this sick little venue called On the Y, also in Sacramento. Then we're gonna have one in September 3rd. We're still trying to get a few bands onto that bill, but shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. It's gonna be at this cool little DIY venue in the back of a music shop. I'm definitely going to be promoting that on my Instagram. We got a whole lot of like really talented musicians on that bill so far. We just need a few more. And then late September, we're actually planning on playing a prison, which is probably the show I'm most excited about. I had a meeting yesterday with all the bands that are going to be involved. Everybody seems to be on board. We're going to get that going, and we'll be announcing it here pretty soon, just as we get more information down. Because prison show. That's you
gotta let me know about that.
There's a lot of loopholes that go into that. Yeah, for sure. But we're definitely excited for sure.
That is what's up. And,
hell yeah, man.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share down below. And see you next time, Mosh Pit. Thank you.